Welcome to today's group training, guys. We are going over momentum reset, how to get back on track, what to do actually when you lose momentum, what to do when you fall off track, how to get back on track. There's going to be a lot of analogies. I'm excited to get into this one. This could be a massive mindset shift for you guys. All right, we all are going to hit setbacks. Setbacks are inevitable, but the problem isn't the setback itself. It's how we respond to it that matters the most. I want to give you guys a couple this first tire analogy. Like think of like your car's going down the highway, you're going at a good speed and you're like in momentum, you know, and you don't, when you first accelerate, when your car is stopped, you have to use a lot of energy. You have to cultivate a lot of energy to first accelerate when your car is stopped to gain that momentum. But once you're at like a top speed, it's easier to keep that top speed going if you keep staying at that top speed. You know what I'm saying? So the thing is, if your tire were to go out, that's actually not where you lose momentum. Yeah, you might stop, but you actually lose momentum when how you respond to that tire being flat. If some people might get pissed and be like, you know what, screw it, I'm just going to slash all of my tires. That's how you lose momentum. Actually, self-sabotage. This is going to relate to your fitness journey. Like you don't lose momentum when you miss a workout. You don't lose momentum when you have a cupcake. You don't lose momentum when you eat off plan or you don't log into the app for a little bit. That's not when you lose momentum. You lose momentum is when how you respond to those things. So imagine you're driving on your fitness journey, you're consistent, making progress, and then boom, you hit a bump and the tire goes flat. Maybe it's skipping a workout, eating off plan, getting overwhelmed by life stressors. Here's the key. Here's the key, guys. The flat tire is not what derails you. Most people think that the incident, the thing that happens, is really what makes them get off track. Like, you can give any example, like you get in an argument with your girl, or me moving, a situation happened, and people will use that situation as an excuse to say that that's why they fell off track. So, but here's the key. It's not the situation. It's not the flat tire that derails you. The real danger comes from when you mentally throw in the towel and slash all the tires. Instead of fixing the flat and moving forward, you sabotage the entire journey. So just like say like we have like a morning process. Say like you skip your morning routine and then you're like, fuck it, I skipped my morning routine. I'm like, I'm off track now. I'm losing momentum. So now I'm gonna have fast food. Now I'm gonna skip my workout. Now I'm gonna see how you respond to the first maybe initial derail is how you really lose momentum. Okay? It's not about the flat tire that derails you. It's not about missing the meal that derails you. The danger comes when you mentally throw in the towel. It's because like if you miss a meal, you can be like, you know what? No big deal. I missed a meal. I'm still back on track. I'm still grateful. I'm still on this journey. So instead of fixing the flat, and moving forward, you sabotage your entire journey. Okay? What does this mean? Again, one missed workout doesn't mean you failed. One bad meal isn't the end of your progress. One bad day doesn't mean you throw away a week's worth of hard work. The fix, guys, you don't have to be perfect. You just need to fix the flat and then keep driving. A lot of people are so hard on themselves in the moment, like it needs to be perfect for them to get back on track. It doesn't need to be perfect. You just need to keep on going. You need to find a way to keep on going instead of finding a way to justify further self-sabotage. Shaming versus compassion. So a lot of people resonate with shaming, be like, sometimes you might have got bullied in school, and that's a lot of people. I know a lot of people who got bullied, and that was like the transcendingness of them getting fit because they were bullied in school. And that's kind of negative, but I always say shaming versus compassion all the way. The real way to get moving. Feeling completely off track and disgusted with myself. You know that voice. I'm so sick of you, you fat fuck. You need to get in shape. I used to believe that shaming myself was the way to get back into action and push myself forward. But here's what I've learned. Most people shame themselves into forward action, into forward momentum. They bury themselves thinking they're lazy or worthless and try to force themselves into action through guilt. For me, though, I'm going to choose a different way. We're going to choose a different way, hopefully. I've learned to love myself. Those moments, sure, sometimes I need to be tough on myself, but more often than not, I look in the mirror and say, I love you, you're imperfect, and that's okay. Let's get back on track. Not because you hate yourself, but because you care about yourself. That's the energy that creates lasting change, because you can't have a you can't create a positive life off negative means. A lot of people have gotten really successful and really fit based off spite, based off, trying to prove them wrong, trying to, revenge, whatever it is. I mean, that can be a good motivator, but I don't think that's going to lead to burnout. When you're constantly trying to motivate yourself through negative means, like you need to, instead of motivate yourself in a way that you just care about yourself so much more than you used to, that you have to keep going because you just love yourself. Hope this is making sense. This is another good analogy I like to use: the river versus the swamp analogy. Keep the flow moving, guys. Our fitness journey and being successful and becoming fit is all about momentum. It's all about momentum, and even success in other areas of your life. To me, it's all about momentum. And here's another way to think about it. Imagine you're like a river, constantly moving, flowing, and full of life. A river is always clean, maybe not always, but is usually clean, fresh, blue, because it's in motion. There's momentum. Energy in motion stays in motion, guys. Energy in motion stays in motion. And that's the fundamental law. When you keep moving, even slowly, you maintain your progress and keep things fresh. But what happens when you stop? Think about a swamp. A swamp is stagnant. It doesn't move. It's filled with gross, stinky bacteria and water, and nasty ass water, because it's not flowing. It's not moving. When you stop moving, when you sit in the same place for too long, life becomes stagnant. You lose forward energy, and things start to decay. You start thinking that this isn't fair. This isn't working. Life is too hard. This is a massive analogy if you can truly understand it, guys. Life is all about forward momentum, forward progression. Like, no matter what age you're at, when you stop progressing, then that's when your life is ended. Because that's how I truly believe how a lot of people get depressed, how I was depressed, because, when you're depressed, you're either digressing or you're not progressing. Because if you were progressing while you were depressed, it would be like it'd be really hard to maintain an equilibrium, because like it would be hard for you to take action to progress, and you shouldn't be depressed if you're progressing, because if you're progressing, you'd be happy with yourself because you're progressing. So, but that's just my 2 cents on that. But the thing is, with the river and the swamp, guys, a river is moving, it's constantly flowing, so it stays fresh, it's growing, it's going. It's more vibrant, it's more alive, and it's cleaner, it's fresher. The swamp, the water's not traveling through it very fast, it's very stagnant. It gets filled with, regret, shame, decay. It's nasty, it's old, it's gross. That's not what we want. And if we don't want that, we got to keep moving. We got to keep going. The lesson, though, is don't let yourself turn into a swamp. Keep moving, even if it's slow. You can be a slow river as long as there's a current, as long as you're not stagnant. Even if it's just a small action, it's better than staying stuck in one place. Momentum is the game changer of success. Newton's law of motion is real. Energy in motion stays in motion. Whether it's in your fitness routine or your mindset, your momentum matters. When you stop moving, it's going to be hard to start again, because when you keep moving, success follows. All right, guys. Energy in motion stays in motion. If we stop, sorry about this light, guys, but let me see if I can. Oh, we're good. As long as you guys can hear me, you guys can see me okay. Energy in motion stays in motion. As long as we keep on going, we're going to keep having that energy that we want to keep on going. But the more that we stop, the more that we stay stagnant, it's going to be harder to cultivate that energy to keep going. My rule of thumb is to never lose momentum. You don't want to lose momentum. Just because something happens in your life, just because a negative event happens, just because life throws you a curveball, that doesn't mean you need to lose momentum. It just means you need to respond to that in a certain way. It's much harder to start from zero than from a rolling pace. Give yourself compassion, but don't turn that into an excuse to sit still. That's where the body positivity shit comes from. Like, they're giving them the body positivity people who are like, obese and okay with being obese. They're They're giving themselves so much compassion. Like, I love myself regardless of putting in any work to prove that I love myself. That's not what the compassion I'm talking about. It's that we love ourselves so much, so we are going to take positive forward action and stay in momentum because we want to have a higher quality version of ourselves. We want to have a higher quality of life for the people that are around us, and we just love our life and ourselves so much that we're willing to stay in forward momentum because we know the outcome's going to be a better life and a better version of us. Okay? My personal story when I lost momentum, just now, recently, I moved into a new place and I had 3 days with no internet. Now it messed with me a little bit, and being surrounded by boxes and total chaos, my ADHD and OCD, it was a little overwhelming. My routine for the last 2 days have been a little stagnant, a little bit out of the window. But today I got back on track. It was like the flat tire. But here's what I learned. I didn't slash the other 3 tires. I gave myself compassion. I took a step back and said, I'm a human. This is a temporary situation going on. But I didn't let the compassion turn into laziness. So I started stacking wins. We know about stacking wins. That's how we stay in momentum. Waking up early. I ate a good breakfast. I did small tasks to regain control. I did a workout. I was doing stacking wins throughout the day and working on creating this training to build back my self-worth, to build back my confidence, to feel like I'm back on track again and feel like I'm in momentum again, and I feel like I successfully did it. Momentum started building inside me. I didn't need to shame myself into it. I just needed to take small steps forward. I just needed to make sure that everything I was eating had a purpose around it. I needed to make sure my workout was intense and long enough for me to feel proud of myself. I needed to make sure that I was getting ready for this training to deliver to you guys in the best of my ability so you guys can resonate with this and get value from it. And just stacking these wins throughout the day helped me build back that momentum that I lost for the last 2 days. Action plan. What do you do when you fall off track? You need to acknowledge the flat tire. You need to acknowledge the thing that happened. Okay? Recognize the area where you've lost momentum. Whether it's skipping a workout, a missed meal, a feeling of mentally being drained, you need to address that. Key points. Setbacks are normal. That's inevitable. But that's why we're working on ourselves and we're doing self-inflicted adversity and we're working on our mindset, because when the setbacks come, it's going to be more easy to deal with when we're a higher quality, better version of ourselves. When the setbacks came when I was a drug addict loser, I would just fall deeper into self-sabotage, regret, shame. So it's really not about how. Again, how we talk about this? It's not about how, it's about who. Since we are the individual that's strong enough to deal with a setback in a way and respond to it instead of not just react to it, that's going to be an important part of what you do next. Don't shame yourself. Avoid the trap of shaming yourself into action. Don't say I'm a piece of shit for missing that workout. Instead, use a compassionate approach. Some people resonate with that. I'm a big fan of the dude Wes Watson. He wrote one of my favorite books called Non-Negotiable. He says that he calls people pieces of shit. He calls people losers and fat asses, and he calls men who are obese. He says men shouldn't have tits. He says all these derogatory things, but everybody resonates with a different message. He says that for him to change, for him to not be a fat person or to not be that thing that he's talking shit about, he had to talk to him he had to shame himself to be that person he wanted to be. So it just depends on the type of person you are. I've worked with a lot of people and talked to a lot of people that some people like that style. Some people like the shame approach. Some people like if they miss a workout, to call themselves a piece of shit. I just don't think that's sustainable. Even though I love Wes Watson and he's a huge inspiration, that's what he does for his clients, and that's what he does for himself. Is if you're not doing the right things, he calls you a piece of shit, a loser, a guy with tits. It's kind of funny. It's a little motivating, but I just don't think the negative internal dialogue is ever proactive. Whenever it's negative, because the thing is, guys, even though Wes Watson is a strong individual, there's a lot of strong individuals that shame themselves to take action. The thing is that you can't control your subconscious. So even though your conscious mind, you're telling yourself this, that you're, to try to get back on track, you're telling yourself you're a piece of shit. Your subconscious is absorbing that you're telling yourself you're a piece of shit. So it's going to be hard. I just feel like it's going to hinder your confidence and self-worth when you have that negative internal dialogue. Hey, but that's just me. So I'd rather come from my perspective. I'd rather come at from a more compassionate approach. We love ourselves so much. We cherish this body. We want to look the best. We want to feel the best, not only for us, but for the people around us, because we care about us so much. That's where I'm coming at. Stack small wins, guys. Take small actions that rebuild momentum. Maybe it's as simple as doing a 10-minute workout or going on a walk, maybe eating a healthy meal, or just getting back into your morning routine. Key points. Small wins add up. And before you know it, you'll be moving again. So that's what happens to a lot of people is like they get the flat tire or they do or something happens or they miss a workout and then they don't know how to take that next small step to stay in momentum because there's so much mental resistance. And there's so much overwhelm or overanalyzing the situation that may be happening. But you guys have to, I mean, it's easier said than done, but you guys have to understand you need to get out of your own way in that moment and just understand that you got to keep moving forward. You just got to keep moving forward. And like, if something happens where it's like a tragedy happens, then okay, we gotta chill and like figure that out. But 9 times out of 10, it's just like people are just missing. You're just skipping a workout, you're skipping a meal, and then when you do that, you allow yourself to be like, you know what? Okay, I skipped a workout. Now I can skip this. Now I can skip that. I think that's where we get into a lot of trouble. So take small actions that rebuild momentum. Maybe it's as simple as I've already read that. Small wins add up before you blah, 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 blah. Be a river, not a swamp. Be a river, not a swamp. Keep moving. If it's slow, forward motion, no matter how small, keeps your momentum going, okay? Don't let yourself sit still and be stagnant. Stay in motion just like a river. It really depends on the situation. I'm not saying you shouldn't ever take a break, but taking a break doesn't mean you fall out of momentum. A break doesn't last for a week. So the thing is that it's okay to take a break. It's okay to chill, but you have to tell yourself the work's going to be there when I get back. The work is never ending, guys. We can never stop the work. It's really earned every day. But if we can have that positive mindset where it doesn't feel like work and we just want to do this every day because we're just addicted to progression. We're addicted to getting 1% better. We want to be stronger. We want to be smarter. We want to be better looking. We want to, like, there's literally, to me, it's like the funnest shit ever. How is it not the most funnest, incredible thing ever? Self-development. I'd rather be getting better than, on a jet ski, at the movie theaters. I mean, even though those are fun sometimes, I just think it's if you really take a step back and be like, damn, it'd be so much fun if I could just become a better version of myself, like through exercise, nutrition, and mindset, and I take it serious and I'm consistent for a while, and I just become this completely 1,000 times better version of myself. Everything that you do is just going to be more enjoyable because you're a more confident version of yourself. So I'm saying, guys, if you can take a step back and really understand that this is the funnest shit that you can do. There's nothing more fun than becoming better. And I'll debate anybody on this, because when you become better, everything that you do is just going to be better because you're better. It's not how, guys. It's who. I want you to really I mean, we talk about that a lot, but it's massive. It's massive. The difference between compassion and laziness. Sometimes we confuse being compassionate with being lazy. A lot of the body positivity people. True compassion is recognizing when you need a break and allowing yourself to rest. But laziness is giving up entirely, telling yourself, I deserve to do nothing for 3 weeks because I'm being kind to myself. No, if I ever said I deserve to do nothing for 3 weeks, that's I don't understand how deserve and that, because you're making yourself worse. I deserve to become worse. No, I deserve to be more proud. I deserve to have more muscle, more strength, less body fat, more confidence. I deserve all those things. And those things don't come from taking a massive break. You're never going to hear someone more successful than you. You're never going to hear someone more in shape than you tell you that you're not resting enough. You're not taking too many. You're not taking enough breaks. You know. So the thing is, we gotta. And I don't know if you guys know this, but I have "do more" tattooed on my arm because really most people aren't doing enough. And a lot of people look at that as negative, like, oh, do more, like it's not a negative thing. I want to do more. I have more anxiety and overwhelm from like sitting back and chilling. It's like hard for me to sit back and chill. I want to do more because I enjoy becoming better. Because if you do more, you become more. And if you can become more, everything is just life just gets better all the way around. So the thing is, guys, I don't want you to be lazy, but I want you to be compassionate. There's a thin line, and the thin line comes from that word deserve. So you can never tell yourself that you deserve to self-sabotage. You have to always tell yourself that you deserve for self-development. You deserve to put in the work because you deserve to be the best version of yourself. I think it's pretty ungrateful to say your life is, isn't the greatest life ever lived because you only get one of your life and nobody will ever live your life. So I know there's some very influential people in our lifetime in the history of the world, Benjamin Franklin and crazy historians and philosophers, people who have lived amazing lives. I'm not discrediting any of them, but all I'm saying is that there will never be another you, and no one will ever experience your life, and no one can ever live your life. So I think it's pretty ungrateful to say that your life isn't going to be the greatest life ever lived because this is the only life that you will ever live. So, you don't need to be humble. And if you look up the definition of humble, like after this we can go look up the definition of humble, it's to have a low opinion of oneself. I don't like the word humble. I'm not humble. I mean, maybe in a certain context where you're like, I don't want to be so not humble where I'm pretentious, but I do believe that people are like, oh, when people who say like, oh, be humble, those people are usually saying that because they don't want you to share your wins. Like you want to share your wins. You want to like let yourself know how much you're winning, let your people know how much you're winning, because the people who don't want you to share your wins and they're telling you to be humble, they're just doing that because they're insecure about you fucking beating them. So just want to give you that little rant. But guys, you gotta love yourself and give you that compassion to be like, I'm a fucking badass. I'm not lazy, but it's okay for me to eat off my meal plan because, I'm me and I can make my own decision. And just because I want to go have a burger and eat out or have a cupcake, that doesn't mean that the next day I'm going to eat another burger and have a cupcake. Like, you just have to, it's all about that self-talk and that being awareness and being aware and just being honest with yourself, moment by moment. Compassion means taking a day off to regroup and recharge. Laziness means letting the one day turn into weeks, months, or inaction. And it can mean some other things too. But don't confuse the two. Use compassion to forgive yourself, then get back into motion. Energy and motion stays in motion. Your homework. We got a little homework for this training, guys. Your homework is to stack wins and regain momentum. And maybe you're not out of momentum, but hopefully that if you are in momentum and you're doing the right things, hopefully you watch this and it gets you you're even more excited to stay in momentum. It feels like you got even pushed an extra push, and now you're even kind of moving quicker because just this energy and just these realizations and a couple of these paradigm shifts maybe hopefully have resonated with you. We don't want to be a swamp, even we want to be a flowing river. And even if we get a flat tire, that doesn't mean that we have to slash all of our other tires. That doesn't mean that we can't just fix our tire. It might take us an hour or so, fix our tire, and then start moving again. It doesn't mean we can't do that. Your homework is to stack wins and regain momentum, guys. I want you to write down where you lost momentum. What is your flat tire specifically? I want you to write that down. And then, for an example, you guys know it could be a multitude of things. You could have lost momentum with getting in an argument with someone. You could have lost momentum with losing your wallet. You could have lost momentum. There's so many things that could cause you to lose momentum by causing your mental state to get derailed on self-development. Okay, everything's trying to derail us and pull our attention. Energy vampires coming from all directions. But I want you guys to be self-aware here and understand what is your flat tire, where is your flat tire, and what contributed to your flat tire? What is causing you to have a flat tire? Guys, I know I'm using a lot of analogies and metaphors. Hopefully this is making sense though, guys. If you have any questions about my subliminal messages, shoot me a message, comment below this video. All right, step 2 of the homework, list 3 small wins you can achieve today to start inflating the tire, okay? Every time you eat a meal that has purpose, every time you do anything that gets you closer to your goals, whether that's going on a walk, having a bowel movement, uh, yeah, whatever. You can the small adding a piece of spinach to your sandwich. The smallest thing you could do is all of those little things. If as long as we have a mental awareness that that's a win, it's gonna inflate that tire. We're gonna be getting back in momentum. All guys, I'm gonna go back to square one every single training. It's all about self-talk. It's all about mental awareness. So anything you're doing, you had a protein meal. You tracked your nutrition. You went on a walk. You're inflating your tire with those acts. You're getting back momentum with those acts. But you're going to get into faster momentum with those acts if you're mentally aware that you're stacking a win in that moment, and your self-talk in that moment is telling yourself that you're inflating that tire. You're using that analogy that resonates, because when we absorb information in a different way that gets our brain to comprehend it in different ways, our subconscious absorbs it in different ways. So instead of just saying that, yeah, I'm doing this thing and it's helping me get back in momentum. I ate a meal with purpose, and this meal is helping me get back in momentum. That's great, but if you can use that analogy too, and just say that this meal is inflating my tire. This meal is filling up my tire, is turning the nuts and bolts onto my wheel. This workout is actually putting the tire onto my car. Now, like, you can talk to yourself in kind of platitudes, in analogies and quotes. Your subconscious absorbs it in a deeper resonance, at least for me. So just another little pro tip there. Okay, set a game plan for tomorrow. Don't just rest. Plan how you will keep moving forward. Okay, we're gonna go over that one more time. Write down where you lost momentum. Where's your flat tire? List 3 small wins you can achieve today or tomorrow. I know it's kind of late. You can achieve today or by starting to inflate your tire. What can you do to start to fill air in your tire? What can you do to clear out that swamp and make it a river again? Set a game plan for tomorrow. Don't just rest. Plan how you will keep moving forward. I would recommend with a wake-up time. It doesn't have to be super early, but it has to be a wake-up time that you tell yourself that you wake up at, and then when you wake up at that time, you validate yourself and like, boom, I'm inflating my motherfucking tire. Share your wins with me in our next check-in. Drop them in the group chat for accountability. All right, guys? I want to hear your wins. We all want to hear your wins. We don't want to be humble and keep our wins to ourselves. We want to be, what's a good word that's not pretentious? We don't want to be humble. We don't want to be pretentious, but we want to be proud. There it is. We want to be proud of our wins, and we want to share that with the world because, guys, society's got our brains fucked. They want us to keep our wins inside and bottle them up. No, we need to shout that shit from the rooftop because we want everybody to feel how we're feeling. Guys, everyone should strive to be the best version of yourself. You know how powerful this is. It is the most powerful shit on the fucking earth. The bottom line, guys, setbacks are a part of life. What really matters is how you respond. Don't slash all 4 tires. Fix the flat. Start to stack your wins and keep moving forward. You got this, guys. All right. That concludes our training. I'm going to be sending everybody this worksheet that includes the analogies and the step-by-step for you guys to look at and resonate with. And if you guys have any questions on this training, please don't hesitate to reach out. But I mean, anytime that you feel like you fell off track, or you are lost momentum, or you're losing momentum, I want you to come back to this training because I do feel like there's these analogies, these metaphors. Maybe they resonated, maybe they didn't, but I do think this can be very helpful for when you do get off track, when you are feeling out of momentum. I want you guys to come back to this training so you can get back on track. All right, guys? Love you, and I'll see you guys next Wednesday. Peace.